Hey guys, people, how y'all doing, man? Good to see you. This is Minister Archie Porter, the assistant pastor of New Jerusalem Full Gospel Baptist Church in Flint, Michigan, where I proudly serve under my pastor, Reverend Patrick Sanders. Amen. This week, I'm doing something a little different. I just want to do like a public service announcement. I want to talk to young men, especially young black men. I'm privileged with the opportunity to go to the county jail. I get to go to Genesee County Jail every week, and I talk to the guys in there. And usually when I talk to them, they're in a bad situation. Some of them on their way to prison, some of them not, but when you talk to people in the county jail, they're usually at a low point. And it's sad because the only time you sit down and listen is when you've been incarcerated. Or you've been in a situation where you see that you need help. And it's not like you didn't have help before you went. It's just you have to be locked down in order to sit still long enough to hear from somebody. And there are plenty of people out there who want to talk to you, who offer you their help. But you don't see it as help. You see it as somebody who just doesn't understand you. And then the same people that you shunned, the same people that you said didn't understand you, the same people you didn't want to have anything to do with, those are the people you're mad at when they won't accept your phone calls, when they won't come see you, when they won't put money in your account because you're locked up. What I want to do today is just give a public service announcement. Because I've been there. I've been there. Some of you know my story, some of you don't. As an adult, I've spent over 16 years in the Department of Corrections. Yeah. So when you add parole, probation, house arrest, county jail, halfway houses, I got over 20 years in the system. And so I go down there and I talk to guys and I try to give them insight. I try to give them inspiration. But I don't want to just give you inspiration on the inside. It's ideal for me to try to catch you outside before you get in that situation. It's heartbreaking for me because I sit down and I talk to guys 20, 25 years old, and I hear them talk about, I'm on my way to prison. You've committed murder, or you've been selling drugs, and you finna go away for 20, 25, 40 years. And in their minds, they say, well, I'm 25 now. I'll be home when I'm 45 or when I'm 50. And I don't always tell them, but I don't always say anything. But you might not make it home. I see guys die in the penitentiary. I've seen them die in the penitentiary. Or I've seen guys get their stay extended. Because those first 5, 10 years you're trying to prove yourself. You're trying to prove that you ain't no punk. You ain't no pushover. And you end up assaulting somebody, which will give you more time. You fall victim to the con men in there who tell you you have to do A, B, and C. You have to do this if you want to be part of this organization. And they're using you. And so you go in with a 20-year bit and you think, well, I mean, the parole board is the furthest thing from your mind. You got 20 years before you see the parole board. And you don't think about someone reviewing your file 20 years from now and saying, well, tell us about when you stabbed this guy in level 5. Tell us about when you stole from this guy. Tell us about when you did this. Tell us about all these crimes you've committed while you were here. And you say, well, I was young and that was early and I didn't really understand what was going on. So now your 20-year stay has turned into a 25 or a 27 or a 40-year stay. Hopefully you don't kill anybody while you're in there, because now it's a natural life. And so my message to the young people is, you got to learn to think, man. You got to learn to think about what you're doing and how it affects you. I first experimented with marijuana at 16. Cocaine, 17. Those choices I made at 16, 17 affected me into my 40s. You can't just live for today. You can't. You can't just live for today. The choices you make right now, today, at 25, are going to affect you forever, for the rest of your life. Most of us want to live to be 80, 90, 100 years old. Okay, if you want to live to be 90 and 100 years old, you got to take care of yourself at 25. It starts at 25. You can't drink, party, smoke, and say I'm going to live to be 85, you might live to be 55. Anything past that, you're going to be hooked up to a machine or something. If you spent your 20s, 30s, and 40s drinking, smoking, getting high, using drugs, having sex with whoever you want, you're not going to make it to 80, 90, 100 years old. You got to live right now like you want to live another 75 years. So I'm trying to tell young people, man, prison is horrible, especially young men. Prison is horrible. You come in there with a 25-year bid, you in level 5, level 4, you surrounded by people who never going home. You're surrounded by people who have an agenda to take advantage of you. So you feel like you got to boss up, you got to defend yourself. You go get you a knife, you go get you a radio, and you go find you a girlfriend because you got 25 years left in the joint. A knife, a big radio, and a girlfriend. Newsflash, your girlfriend ain't a girl. That's right. That's what they do. I've seen it too many times. That's what they do. That's the big three. That's what they call the big three. You got you a knife, a big radio, and a boy. And that's your lifestyle. Because you believe this is what I have to do in order to survive where I am. Be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Prison conforms you. Prison breaks you down. Prison reduces you to your least state. Especially when your family leave, your loved ones are gone, nobody's writing. It's just you against the world. And I've seen too many young people do whatever they have to do in order to survive. And it's ugly. But when they come home, they don't tell you that. When they come home, they don't tell you that. They don't tell you that they've done some things, some unspeakable things. They tell you how they was rock boss and they ran the yard and all this and that. But they don't tell you when they first came down, they was doing some ugly stuff to survive. When you get more information, when you get better information, you can make more informed choices. And I'm just trying to tell you that before I see you in the county jail, before I see you on your way to prison doing a 40 or 60, 80-year bid, I'm trying to catch you on this side of the yard, man. I'm trying to catch you before you go in. I'm tired of talking to young guys on their way in. On their way into prison. Can I talk to you before you get that 40-year bid? A lot of y'all don't want to listen until it's too late, until you on your way. And now I want a one-on-one with the pastor. Now I want a one-on-one with somebody to pray for me. Well, there were people out there willing to pray for you before you murdered Junebug and got that 50 to 80-year bid. I want to catch you on this side, man. See, but when people come to you and they talk to you about changing your life and they talk to you about God, that's nonsense. That's nonsense. I ain't trying to hear that. So why is it when you go to the joint, you go to the county jail, you want to talk to the preacher, you want to talk to the pastor? Because now it's no longer nonsense. Before you do the stupid stuff, you got to come out of that thinking, man. Y'all allowing rap music and these so-called OGs to influence you. Let me tell you something about an OG. If your OG put a bag in your hand, put a gun in your hand and tell you, go do this, go do that, and he knows the consequences of you doing what he just told you to do could lead to you being dead or in prison, that's not your OG. That's your pimp. He's using you. You call him your OG, your big homie, because he put a bag in your hand and gave you a gun. He's not your OG. He's not your big homie. He's your pimp. He's using you to make money off of you. And when you go to jail, he'll find another one just like you. He pimping you. Don't be used by people who don't care nothing about you, man. Stop being used. It's sad. My message to young people is learn to see further than what's right in front of you. Because you got to learn to see a bigger picture, man. You got to get out of that tunnel vision. There's more to life than what's going on right now. Plan for your future. Understand that what I do today is going to affect my future. You live life like there's no tomorrow. All I want to do today, get high, hang out, fornicate, and see what happens tomorrow. That's a sad ending for you, man. A sad ending. Young people learn how to think. This is the most informed generation ever. You got so much information at your fingertips. How can you be the most illiterate generation at the same time? Impulse control. You have no impulse control. Everything must be immediate right now because you don't plan for the future. You don't think you're going to be around for another 25, 45, 55 years. You don't think you're going to live that long. You're going to live that long because the penitentiary is going to preserve you. you're going to be in there for 60, 70 years. Wishing you had to listen to somebody talking to you when you was 18, 20, 25 years old. You can still have a quality life behind the wall. I know some guys in level 4 never getting out of prison. They have a quality life, but it's not the one they would have chosen. I bet you that. I know for a fact they wish they had have listened before that came down the pipe. I made this video just to say, so you can't say, nobody ever told me. Nobody ever told me it was going to be like this. Nobody ever pulled my coat and said, hey, young dog, you need to stop, man. You need to just pivot. You need to look at where you're going and just put the brakes on and sit down for a minute. Because penitentiary, it ain't no badge of honor. It ain't what everybody claim it to be. It's not. It's not. Healthcare, horrible. You're not getting no money. You're not getting visits. After them first 3 or 4 years, your family tired. Especially when they know you're doing 40, they going to stop coming. The money going to stop coming in. Your homeboys, they ain't coming. Your homeboy, he gone with your baby mama. That's done. And now you stuck for the next 37 to 50 years by yourself in there. Talking about what you should have did. You better look, man. Examine where you're going. The young female, y'all in the same boat. Y'all in the same boat. I see some of y'all, and I you know, I'm a man and I'm not qualified to speak into the female life, but I see you. It's hard. It's hard for me to look at young black women and say, man, that's what y'all come to. That's what y'all doing. That social media, which, I mean, you leave nothing to the imagination. I just say, like, you leave nothing to the imagination. You expose yourself for likes, for money, for dollars. Fans only. Come on, man. You better than that. You better than that. You need to use from the neck up instead of what's from here to here. Neck down. You working with neck down. You need to be working with neck up. Females. It's sad. There's a famous quote that says there's 2 types of pain. There's pain that hurts and there's pain that alters. And I'm trying to show you the pain that alters before you have to go through it yourself, you know. People say, well, I learned from my mistakes. It's possible to learn from other people's mistakes. You don't have to go through it if you just listen to some of the people who went before you. Hey, man, young people, y'all say Christianity ain't cool and there's all this and that, and everybody in the church is hypocrites. Everybody in the church ain't a hypocrite. Everybody in the church don't want something from you. I don't want nothing from you. I'm just trying to shake you awake. I'm trying to shake you to the point where you just wake up and say, man, I want to do something different. I want to make something of my life. But you see older people as people who don't know nothing. We squares. We don't understand what you're going through. We understand, and we try to drop a little knowledge on you, but you're too headstrong to see it. And then 20, 30 years from now, when you're sitting in the Bing with a big radio, a knife, and a boy, you be like, damn, man, I should have listened to dude. I should have listened to dude. He dropped some jewels on me. He spoke to me from the heart, and I ain't even listened to him. You got to do something better. You got to do something better. This is Minister Archie Porter. I love y'all, man. I do. I love my young people. I want y'all to do better. I want more from you. I want to see you do better. That's not what God created you to be. You can do better. I know you can, because it's in you. You come from good stock. Just a reminder, man. I love you. God loves you. That's the way it's going to be. See ya.